Hi friends, I want to show a technique that I followed by accident to control the knotting of my creepers like squashes, bottle gourd, ridge gourd, snake gourd and cucumbers. This is something which I practiced by accident, but proven to be very effective. But then when I read it somewhere, I found out that there's actually a practice which is followed by scientists to increase the yield. So I improvised after reading through it a little bit more by knowing, but I just want everyone to get benefited from this. So when you put a seed, first you get a root, and equally you'll get the main branch. Okay, so this branch, what I will, it has something called nodes. Each of this node will have one leaf, a male flower. Mostly the main branches will have a flower, might have a tendril, and a little another node coming up which will develop into another branch. So this is how it will be, like a leaf. So what I try to do for any branch, especially the main branches, I will try to nip off or cut clean once it's of at least 2 feet tall. Till it is 2 feet tall, I won't touch it. But once it's 2 feet tall, I will remove all these nodes, extra node. I mean, I will remove these leaves. I will clean off these leaves, flowers, um, so that benefit of doing this is, and let it grow after like maybe 1.5 feet. I will let it grow. So I will let it have like another, suppose maybe eight and now after this also, if it is growing, I will nip this. Okay, now my creeper will be manageable. The reason I am doing is, why am I removing the nodes and branches from the bottom part is, I don't want my creeper to be very close to the ground that attracts critters, snails, slugs that will eat my fruit, and I want it to be much more manageable. So if this is the ground, you don't want your fruit to be very close, getting rotted, like eaten by slugs or something like that. And like it's very difficult to direct the trellis also. So by this time it will be very clean. And now always this is the main branch will have, each node will have a male flower, like so mostly it will have 100% male flowers. So male flowers, um, the, the nature is like the reason it produces male flowers is, it actually starts attracting pollinators like bees and all. It's kind of preparing the ground before like the female flowers are there. So now we will direct the plant's energy into more fruit producing, rather than having the unnecessary stuff like leaves and extra branches which are of not much use for us. So after this cleanup at this bottom, we still have 8 to 9 nodes at the top, and we don't want to grow, we are not letting this grow indefinitely. At this point we cut it. As soon as we nip this tip, the energy gets deviated, and before this, you nip this tip only, like little branches on the sides will start going. This is the second generation. So second generation, I will use a color coding here. Suppose let me use blue. This is second generation. Second generation again also have nodes and leaves, but with second generation, your your ratio of male flowers is 3. For every 3 male flowers you have 1 female flower. So here also your productivity is not that great. So suppose you never have like nodes opposite each other, you'll have like zigzag, maybe like this. I don't know if you're seeing it, like this. So at each node, if this is male flower, this is male flower, male flower, you'll have one female flower. So still not very great. So you can have alternate branches, or if you are able, if you have ability to control it, you can have like branch at every point. And after maybe 10 nodes, you are nipping this. If you don't nip it, it will become indefinitely, and again your entire plant energy will still produce more male flowers and have little flower bearing fruits. Fruit bearing flowers, that is female flowers. So when you nip this, you will have third generation. Again, I will use a different color here. Let me just use maybe red. So at every node you will have, at this point I won't control how many branches are coming, maybe let it have like a branch at each node. So when I will not nip these tips, I will let it grow indefinitely. And here for this, when you have nodes on your third branch, it is 100%, 90%. This is 90% female flowers, 90% female flowers, 10% male flowers. Male flowers. I hope you're seeing. So these third generation, for every node you will have female bearing fruit. So how do you distinguish between, and like this is for every branch I will encourage third generation, and from here I will not control this. Again will have nodes, and they will have again branch, fourth generation, fifth generation. We are not going to control any of them, because from here everything will be, the female to male ratio is more for this from third generation. So we are only taking care of this trimming and nipping only till second generation. After that, let the plant grow, and because we want the fruits more, so we'll have more female flowers. From third generation branches, we always have 90% more flower, as I will show in a video in my personal garden too. You can see that. And now, how do you identify between male flowers and female flowers? Male flowers will have a flower and their stalk will be very thin. A female flower will have a little bulb kind of a thing above your flower. This will bulge into a bigger thing and becomes a fruit. So this is the actual fruit we eat in our squashes or creepers, cucumbers, whatever. So now you might ask, how what is the point if we have only female flowers? No, we are not just putting female flowers. Even if you don't want, you will still have lot of male flowers. The nature is so smart, you'll have tons. Always the ratio between male and female, male flowers will be more, and you can attract natural pollinators or use a paintbrush and transfer the pollination. Use your hand pollination or pluck one of the male flower and sensitively rub on the top of the female flowers. And given proper nutrients to your plant, you will have lot of yield. So I personally had lot of yield. You can magnify the yield result by doing this kind of cutting. So what happens if you don't prune? As I said, the plant grows episodically, just like if we leave our hair, it will grow without any shape. So we just don't want that. We just want to control it. We want to exercise, we want to direct its energy to the right part. That is what we are doing here. Okay. Places there are some places cold hardy zones where they have a limited planting time. So it's always better, because the growing season is so small, you don't want to waste the time in plant growing unnecessary branches, leaves before fruiting. So when you put the seed itself, keep looking. Within a week you will have this this main branch and start trimming it. And this is like maximum 2 weeks effort. You need to keep looking for 2 weeks, and after that you really, there's a very little less thing other than like watering it, fertilizing it. There's a very little less effort from your end, like, so because by the time you have like controlled your main branch, you have controlled your second generation branches, so there's a very little maintenance that you need to give to your creepers. So that's how I practiced. Now let me show how it worked in my own garden. Okay, thank you. Bye. Let me show with my squash. Okay, so if you see my squash, these are the nodes. This is the nodes, and you see I cleaned up everything till it is like considerably 2 feet, because I don't want the branches coming and spreading all over the ground and like becoming a mess. So that's why like they always suggest to put the seed at a spot and have the trellis even before the your plant is a little bit ready. So here I can say you first, let me show you. This is a female flower. The easiest thing you can find, like how is a female flower, is its stalk very next to the flower is like a little bit thicker, and this is a male flower. If you can see, I don't know, it doesn't have any thicker end. So this is my main branch, first branch. So you have seen me like cutting everything. I just need to cut it at this thing. I had like hundreds of male flowers all the way. You see here, I have like a branch coming here. This is my second generation, and this is still my main branch. I did prune it to the point. After a while I did not let it grow. It's very hard for you to find at this point because this is not color coded, everything looks same. So if you look here, this is my main branch. Here comes my third generation branch. And let me show you, this third generation branch, for every node has a female flower. One, this is the second node, second. My third is yet coming. See, it has a small bulb here. I don't know if you're seeing. So if I let this grow, it will have a node at each of it. Same with it here. Same with my ridge gourd. For my third generation, I have like hundreds of these small female flowers coming up. They are still very young, so I don't know how much you are able to look into it. And this is my cucumber. Let me go that side. I did a mistake in controlling this even before it started. So it became like such a big mess like that. I mean, like it became such a big it became knotted. I did not knew like which one is the first branch and which one is the second generation, which one is the third generation. But for that reason I had to cut a lot of leaves and take this into control. So you see, this is my third generation. If you look here, this is one node. It has one cucumber. It has another node, second cucumber. There's also one more node here. Every node has cucumbers here. You see, here, and till the tip. If it grows indefinitely, it will have like all the cucumbers in the world. But again, like let me show you my first. And all these are like my male flowers. I said male flowers will be more than compared to the female flowers. And there are like, for this single plant, I got like several hundreds of cucumbers. Given like proper nutrition and all, like you need to water it well and like give it like needed NPKs, like your nitrogen, potassium, and NPK, phosphorus, sorry. Okay, and like when I say like nip your tip, all you need to do is when I say nip your tip, all you need to do is you need to nip this part, but I'm not going to nip this because it already has, this is my 3rd generation plant. But let me find like which one is my 2nd generation. Actually I almost like, oh, I think like I did control almost all of it. So these are the natural pollinators. If you don't have a natural pollinator, you can just use a brush and you can hand pollinate, or you can just pluck one of it and like put it on top of it. But let me see which one I can show you. So here comes my Indian cucumber. This is called doskai. And it's a rounded squash kind of a thing. You see, this is the 1st generation branch. I did not take care of it. Actually, I'm supposed to remove this, which I'll remove it now because I don't want anything coming so close to the ground. All you need to do is just nip it. That's it. It's so sensitive. All you need to do is, that's all. We're not encouraging any branches coming from here. That's all. So when you do that, it generates. If I don't do this, this will keep growing indefinitely. This is all knotted. I'm not sure how much you can see, but this is growing indefinitely. To avoid that, what I will do is I just need to nip it here. That's all. Now it will use these resources, these nodes, to develop 2nd generation plants. So let me show you like how my 2nd generation. See, this is my 2nd generation branch. This is another plant. From this came 3rd generation. You see here, this has one. I have like another one. And if this grows, it keeps on coming, all the 2nd and 3rd. But as said, it's not, these plants are not color coded for you to distinguish like which one is 1st generation, 2nd generation. So you need to do this when the plant is very small, otherwise it will be very difficult to handle, and the plant energy gets like deviated in the stemming and branching and unnecessary male flowers rather than fruiting. Okay, that is all. Hope I make I made you understood. I don't know like how much you got it. Please let me know if you have any questions. Okay, thank you. Bye.